Right. I don't know if it's just me, but I can feel like there's a sea change going on at the moment in karting culture, karting coverage. I don't know. So the purpose of this video, right, is I wanted to I'll explain the purpose and then I'll go through what I think is changing and what I think is really cool at the moment. So the purpose of the video is I want to encourage karters to, if they want to, make content, make interesting, cool stuff. Because I think kart culture is something to be celebrated, and I feel like we've got a good opportunity to do that right now. So let me explain why and what I think drivers could do, and why it's quite an exciting time for karting, right? So first of all, two big sort of videos came out. The main one started with Super GT, Steve Alvarez Brown, right? And he, with Team Quadrant, which is Lando Norris's thing, and he's part of that. They were going to sponsor him to race X30 this year, right? In I think it was UKC, right? And I think he's 3 rounds in, and you know his videos are really good. They're really interesting. They show you what karting's like, and there's no kind of the usual sort of patronising-esque feel you get around karting content from sort of not outsiders, because Steve's not an outsider, but you get the sense that people that didn't start their sort of media coverage in karting, you know, someone that got successful doing something else and then comes in. There's always a hint of sort of patronisation, but with Steve, it's this is wicked, it's hard, it's good, and the content's really interesting. And the last video I think had Caden McQueen in it, which was cool. And and the drivers, a lot of the young kids are interacting with them, getting photos, and you just think there's a really positive vibe here, right? And then a guy called Noel Miller dropped a video, and he has a YouTube channel. Now I did actually recognise him for I think he's got a podcast series, and then I think he's got another project attached to that, which is more motorsport focused. But I think his main channel is general sort of just commentary type YouTube channel. He's got a couple million subscribers and that, so that's his main audience, And he just dropped a video where he started racing KA 100 in America, and again it was really fun, interesting, wasn't patronising, celebrated karting culture as well, and it was I was like, what's going on here? Usually the videos like this are kind of a bit weird and that you always feel a bit disappointed, but you're like, nah, this is really, really kind of cool, right? And then you've got kart chaser Xander Clements. I know there's another guy involved, I'm not sure. And what he's doing over there, he's been really sort of grinding at it and keeping going, and he's expressed his intent to make the drivers interesting, and he's doing videos that, again, he did a live stream at the weekend, and there's some cool sort of content around that. So I thought he's got a good vibe going on, right? And then last weekend, Alpha Live stepped up their coverage with the Kartmasters. I think the amount of racing is huge, but I thought, because it was 3 days of live streaming, which is on its own is a monumental effort. It's really difficult to describe to people how much of an effort that is. But they did paddock shows in the evening, which I think make a huge difference. They change the complexion totally, because live streaming generally is it's an extension of just being a spectator, a family member, and you watch it quite passively. But as soon as you do paddock tours and paddock interviews, you change the complexion from something that friends and family to watch to something that's actually compelling and interesting, because suddenly you hear these stories, you see the personalities, and I thought, I think it's Luke Austin and James Fitcher who do it and everything, and obviously the team that they've got, they had Henry and AJ and Chris McCarthy doing the commentary, but doing all of that, giving us something interesting to watch beyond just the pure racing. Because here's the little secret: racing is kind of boring. If you think what the most successful race series in the world is, which is F1, a lot of races can be boring, but what makes it compelling is that you're interested in the drivers, right? Interest in the drivers is what drives the viewership, not the racing itself. You can have amazing racing and nobody watches, or you can have dull racing and everybody watches, right? That's how it works. If you want people to watch racing, you need them to be interested in the drivers and the teams and the personalities involved in the sport. And for one example, for me, Reggie Dewey started a show, before the race, he, quite a cheeky little interview.
Oh yeah, 100%, I'm a threat, so.
had a bit of contact with Gus Lawrence, and then him and Gus sort of went at it a bit. Nothing physical, nothing bad. It was just the usual stuff that you get. But you know, it was kind of like, oh, this sport has personality. You know, you've got young people racing who I think if they were given, not given, because nowadays this is what I'm going to get to where I'm getting. But there's potential there for an audience that we don't know is there. Maybe having an audience comes with other things that you just, as a sport, you don't really want, like, you know. But like, because you know, if you look at motorsport and the big fan bases, that can get quite toxic. But I mean, if I look at dirt bikes and motocross and supercross and think, you know, that's something that we can aspire to. You know, the fan base I guess, can get a bit crazy at times, but at the same time, I think it's a manageable level. So I think karting can aim for that, and I just don't think people have realised yet. Like, I watched it and was like, now I want to watch Gus, I want to watch Reggie, because they've got a face to the person that's racing. I've seen their personality. You know, and the commentators did do like a David versus Goliath kind of narrative. You know, Reggie racing with family and other guys racing with teams, which I thought was quite fun. But like, that's where I've seen just a shift. Like, everybody's, you know, we've got the YouTubers coming in, but they're not coming in pretending to, with big egos. They're celebrating karting, and you've got the karting coverage like with Alpha and Kart Chaser that have started to provide us with interesting narratives, views of the paddock, the personalities, so that steps up a little bit. But the reason I wanted to do this video is to explain to you why I think there's a bit of a sea change, and why right now is the best time to take advantage of it. I'm getting old. I don't drive much anymore. Like, I'm sort of exhausted. I'm like an engine that's at the end of its life and I need a rebuild, but whatever. So I wanted to encourage other drivers, young and old, that there's huge potential here for you to do something in terms of interacting with the sport culturally and celebrating it that could yield like really sort of exciting results, right? So like, racing itself is kind of boring. This is the one thing you need to understand. Like, so I'm going to go into my consultant mode. Racing is boring, right? What makes racing interesting is interesting people, and people that are interested in the sport that they do and the culture that surrounds it. You know, like, if you think TT, you think John McGuinness. You think F1, you think Lewis Hamilton. If you think, I don't know, Supercross, you might think Ken Roxon or James Stewart. With karting at the moment, it's like, okay, who's karting? Who's the personality, right? And you don't have to be the best driver. This is the key thing. Like AJ Cantazano, Jeff Walker, got huge followings online now. And they are good. I mean, dirt bike's weird because they are actually phenomenal riders, but it's so competitive. But in pure results, they're not winning the big events, right? But they've got huge followings, right? So that's the big lesson. So as a sport, as a culture, if you're young and you're interacting with karting, and maybe, you know, you're racing every weekend, and I wanted to sort of plant that seed, like, you can do stuff with this sport that's beyond just racing, right? And if I was 21 again, and let's say I had 25 grand, or say 25 grand is a lot of money, actually, it's a huge amount of money. So if I was racing every month, you know, 2 times a month, you know, I would like, well, what project that can you do? I like karting, so I'll do like a historic rebuild project, right? And rebuild an old 100, restore an old chassis, and like, if I threw a camera on that and did 5 episodes of that and showed you through the process of cleaning the engine up, and like, 2-stroke is massive right now. There's so many people interested in 2-stroke technology. Like, 2-stroke stuffing has a massive channel. You know, so Red Bull have got like the straight rhythm, 2-stroke straight rhythm in 2019. They did the CR500 rebuild. You've got channels that are really encourage 2-stroke culture. People love 2-strokes, right? And like, to me, karting has the best 2-stroke engines that have ever been built. Like, 100cc air-cooled 2-stroke engine does 20,000 RPM or whatever you want it to do. Like, it's obscene that they do that, and we race them and they seize and you spin. Like, that's really cool. So like, I'm appealing firstly to like my 100cc brethren. Like, I don't think, like, if someone started a channel just rebuilding 2-strokes kart engines, I'm on it, mate, and I think it'd have a huge following. People would love that. I mean, I'm only saying do it if you kind of feel like you want to do it, but you don't feel like anybody's there to encourage you. And I'm saying I'm here. If you do something good and I like it, I'll I'll share it. I don't have a big following anymore. Like I said, I'm a bit of a tired old engine, but like, I'm just saying that I'll be here to help promote what you do, and if you're doing something cool, I want to help it. And I see that kind of stuff, and I think I know a few drivers kind of do blogs or race reports, and I'm like, no, you need to think bigger than that now. Like, if I was a young driver and I was 18, say, right, and you know, and I'm thinking I do love karting and the kind of racing, I'll be like, okay, what could I do? If and it doesn't mean young driver, I mean all ages, but I'm just giving an example. If you had a young driver who's like, good driver in X30 or Rotax, and they went, oh, I'm going to do a 2-stroke project, rebuilding the 1989 Cali car with a Rotax DSB, and I'm going to film it, and I'm going to show everybody it, and I'm going to race it, you know, whatever. I'm hooked into that, and I'm sure a lot of people would be. Or if a driver, like I said to Danny Kelly, wanted to do the World Championships in KZ, and I thought, like a young driver like him, if he bought an eBay special, and it's like, I'm going to prepare for the World Champs, I'm going to start here with my, 2006, wild car with an old TM, like stuff like that, where you just create a culture, you create ideas. Like, I don't know if karting has ever done that. Like, if I look at the dirt bike stuff, they've got a plethora of content, very culturally rich. You know, like karting, we are confined to the racetrack, where dirt bikes are not confined by anything, essentially. But like, we have these amazing karts, and another one is like, so like the superkart crew, and so I think I got a bit of flack because I went on one of the groups, and I sort of doing my usual thing. I think they were kind of disappointed that the promoter wasn't giving them what they promised, and like the way I look at it is like, if you want to promote supercars, you do not look to people that organise your races to do all the heavy lifting. You have to do it yourself. If you really love what you do, like, you know, like I would love to see someone build a supercar. You know, like Daniel Thompson has like a twin KZ, and he the way he builds it, like in not a shed, it's a garage, but it has that kind of quality to it. Like, he's building this car, and I know Dan, you're watching, maybe you appreciate the shout out, but like, he's building this car, and I see pictures of it, and he does the historic stuff as well, and I'm like, that's a 10,000 subscriber YouTube channel. You know, putting two 125 KZ engines on a car and then going around Cadwell's quicker than a GT3 car is the most obscene thing I can think anybody can do. You know, I probably wouldn't promote it because they still have to wear leather in supercars, and that does absolutely need to change. Sorry for my ethical tangent there, but like, I'm convinced that's going to change very soon now, because we have a AAA accredited suit that's vegan, so the right thing will be done there. So like, but as an example, like, you know, like Jade, as a family of this, I think they're leading the British Championship now. They've got a twin KZ. I'm not saying to Mark and all that do a video series, but it's like, these stories are there, and like, if you're in karting, and it's like, I want someone to come in and just be like, Alan, you're getting old, I'm just going to do all the stuff you want to do. They're going to do it better than you. Like, the sport has so much to give, and like, having seen what we have with Super GT and Noel Miller, so like, you've got these hundreds of thousands of people that are suddenly looking at karting, and then where's what we doing to take advantage of that, to celebrate what we do and encourage people to come in, try karting, like the budget kart challenge. Like, I've had people that have mailed me and gone, I watched the video and I decided to get a cheap kart, and that's how I got involved, right? It's like, that was the purpose of the video, is to get people involved in karting and to convince them that you don't have to be a millionaire like what is constantly in the media. So like, as drivers, as karters, like, it's almost like a collective responsibility, that there's this massive opportunity there, and someone's going to do it. And if you're young now and you're always sort of worried that you can't afford it, someone's going to do it, and they're going to get the eyes, and they're going to get the support. And like, and I wouldn't say just because someone else does something you shouldn't, because, you know, a rising tide raises all boats. But like, the opportunity is there. And if you've got any inclination, any creative inclination to do something, like, you know, it can be done. Like I said, I don't know if I said it in this video, but like the Reggie Dewey situation, like, there's a young, charismatic young man who, I don't know if he realises the potential he has to do something, because I watch the Alpha coverage and like he's kind of entertaining. I'm into this kid. He's got something. Let's go with it. You know, and I'm always talking to people that I know, going, "You've got a YouTube channel waiting. You've got a YouTube channel that is just one of the best YouTube channels that exists." You know, so you know, if you need ideas, you want to speak to me, sure, I'll be a consultant. And I'm being honest, you can contact me. I'll do that for you. You know, if you need some help getting started, like if you need ideas, please, you know, get in touch and I'll help all I can. For a fee. Yeah, let's do it. Let's for a fee. I don't know, is that a joke? I don't know, maybe not. But I kind of do need the money. Oh, this race coming up. So, like, yeah, I just want to help plant that seed, because the content that can be created, if you're racing every week, you're spending money on racing. If that's what you love doing, fine. But if you want to just miss one race a month or one race every other month, use that money to create a really cool video. Go and hire a 250 National. Go and hire Division 1. Go and have a play in a pre-89 car retro racer. Go and rebuild an engine. Go and visit people who raced at like Morecambe or, you know, Plymouth or Crystal Palace. You know, there's so much that we can do, and like the potential is there, and like, we've got characters in karting that can do it. And if you look at dirt bikes, you know, there's a lot of the riders have caught on. They've got their own YouTube channels. Like, you don't have to be, all you need really is a GoPro and a smile, and people will watch. So that's really what I wanted to do. I think it's a really positive time for karting, and I wanted to make sure that anybody that's got a creative little seed inside them, that, yeah, go for it if you can, and I'd love to see it. I think there's huge potential. So thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully we're racing this month after many months of not being able to do anything. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we'll have a video next month about that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and you know, go over to Alpha Live, hit their subscribe button. Noel Miller, keep an eye on what he's doing. Super GT, Alpha Live, Kart Chaser. I think, who was it? Jack Tritton in Superkarts had a vlog. Again, I thought, you know, really brave to do that. You know, people should be like, we should give them props. You know, I'd love to promote the Superkart thing, but yeah, hopefully the right thing happens there soon. So yeah, I think that's everything. So thanks for watching, and yeah, let's hopefully see you on track soon, because I don't want to be making videos talking like this too long. I want to be at track and getting that weird karting headache you get at the end of the day.
If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links below to our Patreon page and PayPal, and also the links to our merch store on Teespring. Thanks for watching.